Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin the service here. Rabbi Alan Abramson will officiate over here, and Dr. Howard Warner will speak through Zoom.
Kila malos, esoinai elorim meyai in yavo ezri. Ezri meyim aldinai osei shamayim vodes. Al yitein lamod raglecha yunum shamnecha. Hinei lo yunum v'lo yishan shamei Yisrael. L'nai shamnecha l'natzucho yad yaminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka v'yoreach b'loilom. L'nai yishmorcha mikol yishmor snavshecha. The 121st Psalm. I lift my eyes to the mountains, from where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot falter, your guardian will not slumber. Behold, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Lord is your guardian, the Lord is your protection by your right side. By day the sun will not harm you, nor the moon by night. The Lord will guard you from all evil. The Lord will guard your life. The Lord will guard your going and coming from now and forever. Just this past week, we read in the Torah, the Eile HaMishpatim, which was the transition from the reading of the Aseres HaDibros, the 10 Commandments. And in the first set of the first set of tablets of the 10 Commandments, the 5th commandment, Kabed es avicha v'esimecha, honor your father and mother, is placed in the same section as it is about having emunah, faith in God and serving God. And Chazal, our sages, tell us that honoring one's parents is the same as honoring our Creator in heaven and earth. Because by honoring our parents, we are in fact demonstrating that they gave us the greatest gift, and that was life. When family called me, Marvin passed away, these were the sentiments that came to my mind right away. Because this family knows nothing else except to honor one's parents. That's the way they were brought up. That's the way they saw Marvin. That's the way they saw their mother. That's the way they saw their great uncles. That's the way they saw their aunts. That's the way they saw every single member of this extended family. In all the years that I've had the privilege of being together with this family, to see how each and every one of them, everyone, from the uncles, the aunts, the children, and Marvin himself, how they honored their parents, cared for their parents. And Marvin was cared for, and your mother was cared for in the most respectful way, because you saw that from them, and therefore you provided the same. And that will go down as one of the greatest achievements of what it means. Marvin, as I mentioned, was a very great person. Dr. Vernoff will share with us some of the personal sentiments from the family. They always remember him sitting together with Ben at shul, always with a smile, always with a compliment, always happy, looking at the world full, not half full, and definitely not empty, but everything was a blessing from God. And he was uh, um, appreciative of everything that was given and that he had. And when he came to shul and he davened and he cared about others and he always had a compliment and not a person to complain. And then he passed away painlessly. He was sitting on his chair. He was talking about his late wife, your mother. He was talking about the family. He was already one step in the Shamayim, one step in the heavens. He was in both worlds, straddling both worlds. And then he was talking, sat in the chair, closed his eyes, and went back to Shamayim. Because he was cared for in such a loving and respectful way, because he did the same, and so did the entire family. He is destined to, just as we say, that it was placed before us like a shulchan aruch, like a set table. So too as he go back into Shemayim, and his late wife of blessed memory, and his parents and his families were all saying to him, Shalom Aleichem, welcome back, Marvin. Nice to see you. And now that you've taken care of him for so many years, he will now be able to protect us here in this world of the Olam Hazeh. May the soul of Marvin be bound in the bond of eternal life. Okay, this time now, with the great technology that we have, we're going to try to turn this over on Zoom or to Dr. Vernoff or Ms. Howie, as we all know.
Thank you, Rabbi. I just want to relate some personal feelings from all of us here in Florida, Michael and Jessica.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to thank you, Rabbi. I just want to relate some personal feelings from our family here in Florida, Roberta and myself, Michael and Jessica.
Hold on 1 second, Howard. 1 more second. I got to try one more thing.
Let me try. Tell him to pick up his phone.
Pick up your phone and speak into the phone also, both.
Hello?
Okay, you're on speaker.
Okay. Just want to relate some personal comments from our family in Florida, Roberta and myself, and Michael and Jessica. Marvin was always the older cousin in our family, along with his brother Ernie and his sister Lois. When I was growing up, they were the elder statesmen. But Marvin was always the kibitzer. He was always the jokester. He always had a smile on his face. To all of us, he was Marv. He wasn't Marvin. And everyone who met him and everyone who knew him just loved him because of his bubbling personality. From his own family members to the teachers and the staff and the young children at Hillel Torah Day School. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. To the staff and the teachers at Hillel Torah Day School, where he worked as a security guard, and he would be situated at the front door of the school, ringing the buzzer to allow the staff and the students and the visitors to enter. And all the children had just the joy of saying, "Hello, Marv. Good morning, Marv." And he looked forward to so many of the family functions, especially the Pesach Seder, when we would always get together, and it was his solo of the Malacha Hayom that everybody always joined in as a family together, but he was the leader for that solo. The whole key to Marv's life, I feel, and the most important aspect of his whole being was his family, as the rabbi was alluding to earlier. Everybody, again, that was everything to him, every aspect of family. And that really encompassed 3 stages of his life, what I call RGR, the G standing for Goldstein. The first R is received. Marv received from his parents, Max and Jenny, the love of his parents and his siblings, Ernie, of blessed memory, and Lois, to 120 years. These were his lifelines. The cottage in Michigan City, Indiana, was named after Marvin and his siblings, the Mar-Lo, Ernie, Marvin, and Lois. But it was also the love that he received from his grandparents, Bubby and Zadie Jersky, who also indeed raised him. His school lunches, he would always tell me, were made not necessarily by his mother, Jenny, but by his Bubby, Emma Jersky. It was she who made sure that the crust was cut off the bread and that the certain sandwiches would not have tomatoes on them. It was she that was always aware of his idiosyncrasies, his likes and his dislikes. And his Zadie always took him under his wing, brought him into the shul, made sure that he went to the yeshiva on the Old West Side with his brother Ernie. The second stage of the family, of the RGR, I feel, is gave, because not only did Marvin receive, but it was Marvin who gave that love that he gave to his wife, Lenore, of blessed memory, to their children, Marcy and Jay, to the grandchildren, Freddie and Sheridan and Brittany, and to eventually his great-grandchildren. So not only did he receive, but he gave back in return. And the last R, the RGR, was the fact that now it came back to him being the recipient of the love that he originally gave to his family. At this stage of his life, he received all that love from his family in return, his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, and of course, from his beloved wife and companion and friend, Lenore, or Libby, as we all know her, until her passing 5 years ago. And it was that passing that really deflated him, took something out of his life, and really, that's all he talked about in the last 5 years, was, according to Marcy, rejoining his wife. He wanted so much to be with her. But he was not able to do that until this time, obviously. But Marv was the richest man ever because he was able to receive the fulfillment of that mitzvah, as the rabbi said, Kabed es avicha v'esimecha, honor your father and mother. How many people could have the love and devotion of their children, of Jay and Marcy, and of all the grandchildren, and have kept at home with a life of dignity? Not only had he honored and respected his own parents, but now he received that undying love and devotion of his own children, as he was able to see that. Marcy told me that she felt guilty because she did not do enough for her father. And I told her that she should never, ever feel that way. For the last 5 years since the death of Lenore, Marcy was daughter, nurse, and constant live-in caregiver for her father, and providing him with his every need, never leaving him alone or unattended. That is true unselfish love and devotion. And so Marv was certainly the richer man for that, a man of riches. And it was that undying love and devotion that all allowed him to live the long life of 91 years, almost 92 years that he did, and have true length of days with the utmost of dignity and respect. Marcy told me that on the last day of his life, he was sitting on the chair, that chair that he wanted to be in at his last moment, that chair that he told her he wanted Simcha to find him in at his last moment. And he told her that he saw his mother, Jenny, and my mother, Adeline. He says, don't you see them? Don't you see them there? And I told Marcy that the significance was very simple. Marvin had been on his journey. He had started to be on that journey, as the rabbi said, into Shamayim, into that better place, into the next world, into Gan Eden. And once a person begins that journey, it cannot and should never be interrupted. His family, who had gone before him and whose faces that he saw were all there, waiting to welcome him into the better place, to be reunited with them. Yehei Zichrono Baruch, may his memory truly be for a blessing. Tehei Nishmaso Tzura B'Tzura Kayim, may his soul be bound up in the bond of eternal life. Amen.
El Malay Rachamim, Shalcheina Bamaromim, Amesay Menuchon Achona Tachas Kanfei Ashkinam, B'malos Kedoshim Utahodem Kezorokim Asidim Es Nishmas Moshe B'mordchai Shalach Li'olamo, B'gan Eden Tei Menuchos Solochem Bal Rachamim, Yastireo B'seisik Nafaf L'olamim, Yisroel v'sorchaim es nishmaso Adonai nachalaso yanuach v'shalom hamishkavo v'nomar amen. I turn this over now to Simcha to instruct us on the.
This concludes the funeral service here at the cemetery. Cemetery workers will go ahead with the burial. Once they've removed all the equipment, for those who want to participate in the burial, you may do so by placing a couple of measures of earth into the grave. And then once the family has completed that, we will return to our cars. Family is going to have, due to the times of COVID, the family is going to have private shiva. For those that are on Zoom, if you know Marcy's and Zay's number, you can call them, and they will appreciate you reaching out to them.
This time I'll recite the Tzaddik Hadin, the prayer which reflects our belief that God is the righteous judge. So Tamid Palok Ichol Racham Mishporel Lemanovi and Ovel Tzadik Yoshahu. So Tamid B'chol Poal Miyom Alo Matefola Shalit Matzov Ma'al Memisim Chayim Moshe V'Ayol. So Tamid B'chol Masei Miyom Alo Mata se alma was a chesachina lonos asel skoda ne katzak shilobi asay. Sadik bechol derachol b'chasot hamim moel chapayim avarachamim. Chamal no v'chus no v'osu v'nim kilachadon asifos rachamim. Sadik ato Adonai lamis achayos hashibyotcha pekdom kol chos chalil achod achanim v'mchos. Yunecha b'rachamim alena b'chos kilachadon rachamim v'asichos. Adam v'et shana yiyeh shel olev shanim yichyeh. Ma yisrael no kolo yoyeh baruch dayan emesh me'mitzim chayeh. V'chu ki emes dino moshater akol beino moshalim odom cheshbono v'dino v'chol shmo doyiteinu. Yadanu Adonai ki tzedek mitpotech atzitak v'dovrech l'sizkeh v'shavtech v'melar achad v'shavtech atzvigoto Adonai v'yeshav mitpotecha. Dayan emes shov v'tzedek emes baruch dayan emes shakom mitpotecha tzedek emes. Neves kochad b'yadecha tzedek malo yemincha v'yadecha rachim v'beit ason yadecha v'samar v'malcha rav yadecha. Gdolei tov rav Eliyasher necha b'tov hakol da'achev v'nei dal mosit v'chid v'chol v'chil me'alav. Magiga shad mitzu v'losa bo Adonai nasam Adonai l'chachim Shem Adonai m'varach. V'rachum yichaber gon v'lo yachkez v'chol shiva pa v'lo yirko chamaso. Adonai Hoshia melech yaneinu v'yom koreinu.
those who want to participate in the burial, you may do so. Please watch your step as you approach the grave. I don't have to tell you, it's slippery up there. Watch your step. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the cemetery workers will continue with the burial. We're going to turn it to live feed and then we'll return it to their cars.